Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. So today we're going to be doing 10 designers. So 10 designer houses, and I'm picking my top fragrance from each designer. I did a niche edition and I was like, why not do a designer, sister? So if that interests you, please keep watching. So before we get started with the video, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Roxanne and this is Roxanne's Retreat. If this is your first time joining me, thank you and welcome. And if you've been here before and you decided to come back, big up your whole self. I truly appreciate your continued love and support. As always, before we get into the nitty-gritty of things, let's talk about my lip. Not much going on today. All I have is Fenty, the lip gloss, in Fussy. Yeah, it's funny how this is called Fussy and it's really not fussy at all. Like, it's just a nice, pretty gloss. It's not too thick, just pretty. And my scent of the day is from a niche house, and this is from Initio, and this is Musk Therapy. So it's one of my favorite Initio fragrances. It's really nice and light, especially for the summertime. Yeah, give me more. Gosh, I almost sprayed my eye as always. But yeah, so it's Musk Therapy. So there's like a ton of musk in here. There's white musk, there's regular musk. It's just like a really light, airy fragrance. I like to wear this to run errands. I wear it to work sometimes, especially if I have to be in contact with patients, because it's not in your face. It's not intrusive at all. It's just really pretty and light. Gives me, I mean, it's not like the biggest performer. Any of the Initio bottles and any of the fragrances that are in the white bottle, they don't perform like the black and the purple bottles. But it gives me about 4 hours on the skin, and that's sufficient. I could always, like, you know, re-up the ting. So yep, my scent of the day is Musk Therapy from the house of Initio. First up, we are gonna start with one of the most obvious ones, and this is from, we're going to start with the house of Valentino. If you are no stranger to the channel, you already know my #1 Valentino fragrance is this girl right here, Valentino Donna, Born in Roma. This is probably my all-time favorite designer fragrance at the moment. This is an easy reach for me. I wear this to work, I wear it to go out, I wear it anywhere. I just love this fragrance. There's black currant in here, there's jasmine tea, jasmine sandbag, and in the base there's that bourbon vanilla that gives it this sweetness. This thing is addictive. Men, you know, like moth to a flame. Yes, Valentino Donna, Born in Roma. And yeah, talk about compliments, projection and sillage on my skin, out of this world. Some people say it's a little basic. I don't think it's basic. I love the fragrance. It's one of the fragrances that whenever I go to wear something, I try to refrain from picking it, because I say to myself, stop being unfair to the rest of the girls, you know? Use the other ones. So yeah, for the summertime, like now, I kind of backed off on it a little bit. I'm still wearing it, but I'm pulling for the Yellow Dream more so because it's lighter and more refreshing. But from the house of Valentino, this is my #1 pick, Valentino Donna, Born in Roma. Next up, I'm going to venture into the house of YSL, Yves Saint Laurent. That's how you pronounce it. Say after me. I'm just kidding. So yeah, so from the house of YSL, you know, I'm definitely going in one of the Libres or Libre, however you pronounce it. And my favorite from the house is Libre Les Parfums. I love these bottles, by the way. Like, I hold it like that so you can see the YSL. If you want to see my face too, but yep, Libre Les Parfums. This is my favorite fragrance from the house of YSL. So there's ginger and saffron in the opening. In the middle, there's orange blossom. There's some lavender. And in the base, there's that bourbon vanilla, honey. Yeah, so it's a sweet fragrance. I think right now in the dead 90-degree heat of Florida, it's a little too much. Right now, I would only wear this at night because it's so sweet. It's so strong. But I do prefer this than the original Liebe, than the Liebe Intense. This one is my favorite. They're coming out with a new one. I'm patiently waiting. The bottle, the color is a little intriguing. But yeah, this is my number one from the house of YSL. Now, this thing is a beast. Definitely a beast. Definitely garners compliments. It's very sweet. So if you don't like sweet fragrances, please refrain from even smelling this one. But I find it to be super gorgeous. And it is my number one from the house, Liebe Les Parfums, from the house of YSL. Next up, we're going to the house of Burberry. The house of Burberry. You know that plaid? Burberry London? Yeah, so my favorite from the house of Burberry is one of the Burberry Hers. And it's the Burberry, it's the newest one, Burberry Her Elixir de Parfum. First of all, the bottle. The bottle is everything. That light pink, pretty, girly bottle, gorgeous. Now, the fragrance, there's, it opens with some strawberries. In the middle, there's jasmine, and the base, there's some vanilla and amber. Very pretty, very, very fluffy. Fluffy is the word I like to describe this. Now, the original Burberry Her is, it's gorgeous too. That red berries in the opening, it's very pretty. It's reminiscent of Baccarat Rouge 540. The EDT is pretty too great for this time of year. The Intense is lovely for the colder months of the year. But this right here is my girl. Now, I wear this all the time. Day, night, whenever. It lasts on my skin. Gives me about 6 to 7 hours. I do overspray. Again, it depends on what situation I'm in. If I'm going out, date night, yeah, I shall bathe in it. And who's going to tell me anything? Nobody. A lot of people think that this is screechy. I don't think so. I really enjoy it. Burberry Her the Elixir. This one is my favorite from the house of Burberry London. Next up, I have a fragrance from the house of Louis Vuitton. Or for the people in the back that don't know how to pronounce it, Louis Vuitton. There's no one that doesn't know how to pronounce Louis Vuitton. I'm just playing. So from the house of Louis Vuitton is my favorite fragrance from that house is Spell on You. Now, people say like, oh my gosh, there's so many other beautiful fragrances. Why is this one your favorite? Child, I don't know. I just love it. I love the iris. There's iris in the opening. There's iris in the middle. It's like powdery. It's just really girly to me. And when I put it on, it makes me happy. I have a little bit more pep in my step. It's just a very, very, very gorgeous fragrance. You also get the rose. There's some peach in the base. Yeah, Spell on You. Let me tell you, when I wear this, I get compliments, and it definitely puts a spell on the folks. All right? That's why I have the big gungo bottle. I have other fragrances from Louis Vuitton. I have Attrape Rêve, and I also have Cosmic Cloud. But yeah, Spell on You, she's my favorite. I did smell the new one. It's more like a freshie. But yeah, this is more along, this is something that I enjoy more. It's sweet, super girly. Again, that's why I have the big buckle. You hear? Because I love this thing. And this is my third bottle. I know when I say that, people are like, okay, well, or if I say it's my second bottle, people are like, well, so what? That doesn't mean you really like it. Yeah, it does, because if you were to venture into my collection, if I get through 3 bottles of one fragrance, that means I'm checking for the thing. You hear? Me like it. Me like it very, very much. So, yep, this is my number one fragrance from the house of Louis Vuitton, Spell on You. All right, let's go to the house of Martin Margiela, or Maison Martin Margiela. So, backstory. So, in my little fragrance mind and my little fragrance head, like, I really never thought about it, because there's some designers that I'm just not into. So I thought in my infinite wisdom that, you know, they just made fragrances until April of this year, when my guy and I went to Vegas, and we were at one of the I can't remember which one, like maybe it was the Venetian, and there it was, the Maison Margiela store, and I walked in and I'm like, dude, I didn't even know this existed yet. But if I listen to some hip hop and stuff, you know, I should know because they talk about it all the time. But as a soca girl, so maybe that's why I don't know. Anyway, so my number one fragrance from this house is this one right here, and my label is peeling off. That's one of the things I don't like about these bottles, but yeah, my label is peeling off, and this is Lazy Sunday Morning. I love this fragrance. The name of it is perfect, and that's kind of like how they do it with, you know, the brand and the fragrances. That's how it is. You know, it says memory and a fragrance, and yes, this is definitely a fragrance that I wear on a lazy Sunday morning, or I wear it to bed. You know, it's really light. It's comforting to me. It's one of those fragrances that's super comforting. So there's aldehydes and lily of the valley and pear in the opening. In the middle there's some rose and iris that gives it that like really powdery vibe, and then in the base there's some musk, some white musk. I really like this fragrance. I mean, nobody saw that. I mean, the second one in the one that comes in number 2 in this house is kind of almost along the same lines. It's really light and airy. It's bubble bath. But Lazy Sunday Morning is my favorite from the house of Martin Margiela, or Maison Martin Margiela. Lazy Sunday Morning. That's my pick. All right, next, let's jump to the house of Prada. Again, if you are no stranger to the channel, you already know who's number one, because I talk about this fragrance all the time. I really do, because I really like it. And for a fragrance that just came out, this is I'm on my second bottle, and this is Prada Paradox. Now, again, give it up for the bottle. Like, yeah, even if you don't like the fragrance, you gotta give it up for the bottle. I have a girlfriend that doesn't like this fragrance. I don't know what she's on. But yeah, this is a gorgeous fragrance. Again, it's girly. It's girl next door. You're not trying too hard. It's sweet. That neroli and that neroli essence in the middle just does it for me. It opens with pear. I get that pear for a quick second, but then it's that neroli just takes over. Very sweet fragrance. So if you don't like sweet fragrances, I suggest you not go near it. Every time I open this cap or I spray this, my eyes like literally close, and I go like, because I really do enjoy this experience. It gives me about 6 hours on the skin, sometimes more, depending on how much water I drank that day or the day before. Compliment snatcher. People are always following me, asking me what I'm wearing whenever I wear Prada Paradox, and I feel it's a fragrance that you could wear all the time. You could wear this year round. It doesn't matter where you live. If you live somewhere that's super hot like Florida, I mean, mind your sprays in the dead heat, but great for date night. He loves it on me. I find it to be like, you know, sexy, but still girl next door. Weird, but that's how I feel about it. You know, it's a princess fragrance. It's one of those fragrances that you're not trying too hard, but when you walk by, people think you are, because you smell so good. Prada Paradox. This is my number one from the house of Prada. Next up, we're in the house of Gucci. We're in the house of Gucci Lala. So right now, what I have in my hand is my number one, and it is Gucci Guilty, but this is the EDT. Now, I have the EDP also, and I also have the Love Edition. This one's my favorite. So this one opens with pink pepper, and there's mandarin orange. In the middle, there's lilac, peach, raspberry, jasmine, geranium, a bunch of fruits, floral. It's sweet. It's girly. I wear this a lot to bed. Every time I wear this, he says he knows the fragrance because it's one of his favorites on me. And he says, oh, you smell like, you know, that pink baby lotion? I don't get that. That's what he gets. But yeah, Gucci Guilty EDT is my number one fragrance from the house of Gucci. Now, this lasts It lasts about 6 hours on the skin. Like I said, I wear it to bed a lot. I do smell it in the morning when I wake up, so that means it actually does last. It lasts on the sheets and it lasts on my skin also. Yeah, I really enjoy this fragrance. And yep, that is my number one from the house of Gucci. Gucci Guilty Eau de Toilette. All right, next up, we're going to the house of Dolce and Gabbana, the D and G. So my favorite from this house is Dolce and Gabbana, the only one, but the only one intense. And I don't wear this enough, okay? And oh gosh, and she needs to go on rotation. She needs to go on rotation somehow, because every time I spray it, like right now, I'm like, why don't I wear this some more? The answer is because you have too many. That's not true. Anywho, Dolce & Gabbana, the only one intense. This fragrance kind of reminds me a little bit of Prada Paradox, and I think it's that neroli, because there's neroli in the opening of this fragrance, and I feel like it lingers on a little bit more. So there's also green apple and mandarin in the opening. In the middle, there's jasmine, coconut, orange blossom. In the base, there's vanilla, cashmere wood, and cedar. It's a fragrance that is very, very pretty for date night. That wood, the wood in the base of the fragrance kind of grounds it. So it's not, I don't find it to be as sweet as Prada Paradox, but they kind of just remind me of each other. And like I said, I think it's the neroli. The neroli is in the middle for Prada, but the neroli is in the opening for this one. And it kind of lasts a little bit longer than the other notes that are in the opening on my skin, if that makes any sense. So my number one from the house of Dolce & Gabbana is Dolce & Gabbana, the only one intense, the black bottle. Check it out. This is an oldie but goodie, I'm telling you. Okay, next up, we're going to the house of Tom Ford. The very expensive house of Tom Ford. So my favorite from the house of Tom Ford is right here. It's Soleil Neige. I mean, people would say, you know, I have a few Tom Ford fragrances. I'm looking at them right now. I probably have like 6 or 7, but this one's my favorite. Yeah, this is it. I prefer this one than Soleil Blanc. I prefer it than any other fragrance from Tom Ford that's in my collection. Yeah, this is bergamot carrot seed in the opening. To me, that's just so unique. It pulls so uniquely on my skin. It is so refreshing. It's pretty. And it's kind of weird because this is supposed to be like the winter fragrance, where Soleil Blanc is supposed to be like the summer yacht fragrance. I wear this anytime, and I find this very refreshing. I remember last year when I went to Grenada for Carnival, I wore this a lot. I actually layered this and Mojave Ghost. Don't ask me where that came from, but it was a banger, okay? It worked really well. And they're both great fragrances on their own, but together it just worked some kind of magic. Some kind of tropical Caribbean magic. Yeah, Soleil Neige from the house of Tom Ford. Does it last? Not really. It probably gives me about 3 hours on the skin. I have the oil, the shimmer oil. I use that too with it. But I love this. I love this fragrance. I wear it, but I don't wear it too much. This thing's expensive. For 50 mLs, the price, yeah, out of control, Tom Ford. Check yourself. But yep, this is my number one fragrance from the house of Tom Ford, Soleil Neige. Okay, last but not least, we have Lancome, Maison Lancome, the house of Lancome. So my favorite fragrance from this house is this one right here. This is La Nuit Trésor à la Folie. Say after me. La Nuit Trésor à la Folie. I love this fragrance. This fragrance to me, first of all, standing ovation, round of applause for the bottle. This bottle is gorgeous. It's like you're holding a diamond in your hand. Now, this fragrance right here is sweet, warm, and seductive. So, whenever I want to be seductive, she's one of the girls I look for. If you're not into heavy, sweet fragrances, stay away. But if you are, check this out. Now, I haven't seen it in stores, really. I've seen the regular La Nuit Trésor in stores, but this one was a blind buy for me. I bought this online, and it was definitely a successful blind buy. It is gorgeous. So it opens with red currant, pear, pink pepper. There's bergamot. In the middle, there's rose, violet, peony, jasmine. In the base, there's bourbon vanilla. There's tonka bean. There's woody notes, patchouli. I don't smell the patchouli, though. I don't get any patchouli from this. Not at all. But maybe it's the patchouli that you know, makes the fragrance last and last. Because this thing is a banger. This thing lasts at least 12 hours on me. Again, if you're not into heavy, sweet fragrances, this one may not be for you. Maybe you should try the nude. The one that's more like coconut heavy and it's lighter. Best for every day. But if you're into those heavy hitters, this thing has sillage for days and it lasts. It gives me about 10 hours on the skin. Tell you what. I've worn this to work one time. I didn't overspray and I got compliments. So people could still smell me and I wasn't obnoxious. But it could get obnoxious because it's really heavy. It's really sweet. So it's like a fruity, floral, kind of woody vibe. But absolutely gorgeous. I mean, the La Vie Belles, the Idols, even the ones like Oud Bouquet, they're all cute or whatever. But this one is my number one. La Nuit Trésor à la Folie. I really want to smell the one that's not available in these United States. La Nuit Trésor. I think it's the Intense. I really want to smell that, but I'm yet to do so. Maybe I'll just, maybe whenever I go to Europe, I'll smell it. But yeah, La Nuit Trésor à la Folie from the house of Lancome is definitely my number one. And again, standing ovation for this bottle. You just feel like, those tops from back in the day, you used to spin them. Where are my island people at? Used to make these tops that they used to spin for days. Anyways, that's what it kind of reminds me of. And it's so gorgeous on display. Like when I'm looking at them right now. They're also very pretty. But yep, this is my number one, La Nuit Trésor à la Folie. Gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance from the house of Lancome. Okay, y'all, so that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. And while you're down there, hit that notification bell so you can know every single time I upload. Also, please follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to grow my Instagram following, and I would really appreciate if you do follow me. We will link my Instagram or put the handle up there somewhere. Again, thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.